confusion. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what they working for. Price in the groceries gone sky high. The goods on the shelf and poor people cannot buy. We morals and we money gone, we don't know where it went. This can never be happening by accident. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. We need to make some much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste. Cannot be implemented, what a judicial disgrace. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we
Sound check 1 2 1 1.
I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation.
Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation.
You see that a nation without a soul is like a ship that has lost its rudder. No nation at all. Born in a land of such great expectation, over the years I watch its deterioration. Just couldn't stand by idly and say it's a shame. Someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other. Make sure the good of this land don't stay together. How could some place so good turn out so bad? Where is the love in this land that we once had? Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody driving this country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. try to put all these wrongs right. Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what they working for. Price in the groceries gone sky high. The goods on the shelf and poor people cannot buy. We morals and we money gone, we don't know where it went. This can never be happening by accident. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. We need to make some much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste. Cannot be implemented, what a judicial disgrace. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation.
Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation.
You see that a nation without a soul is like a ship that has lost its rudder. No nation at all. Born in a land of such great expectation, over the years I watch its deterioration. Just couldn't stand by idly and say it's a shame. Someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other. Make sure the good of this land don't stay together. How could some place so good turn out so bad? Where is the love in this land that we once had? Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving this country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. nation. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what they working for. Price in the groceries gone sky high. The goods on the shelf and poor people cannot buy. We morals and we money gone, we don't know where it went. This can never be happening by accident. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. We need to make some much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste. Cannot be implemented, what a judicial disgrace. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation.
Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation.
You see that a nation without a soul is like a ship that has lost its rudder. No nation at all. Born in a land of such great expectation, over the years I watched its deterioration. Just couldn't stand by idly and say it's a shame. Someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other. Make sure the good of this land don't stay together. How could some place so good turn out so bad? Where is the love in this land that we once had? Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving this country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. nation. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what they working for. Price in the groceries gone sky high. The goods on the shelf and poor people cannot buy. We morals and we money gone, we don't know where it went. This can never be happening by accident. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. We need to make some much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste. Cannot be implemented, what a judicial disgrace. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thief in the soul of a nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy.
To each and everyone, welcome to Facts Not Fiction. Let me welcome our viewers, our listeners locally, regionally, and our international viewers. Welcome. So the date is the 14th. The 14th of August it is. And so the conversation is election. The conversation is election. And while the conversation is election, I don't know about Archie, but I'm not seeing the excitement. I am not seeing the enthusiasm. I am not seeing the eagerness in the population to get rid of the Keith Rowley administration beginning at the local polls. I am not seeing it. As I said before, I don't know about Archie. I don't know if Archie is seeing something that I am not seeing. But I am not seeing it.
Well, I've been speaking to a couple people, they call themselves pundits. And it's a little depressing, you know, that they are kind of saying that it seems as though these elections may not really bring about the change that the country needs by voting out the PNM. We're not seeing something like what happened in Tobago heating up here in Trinidad for the UNC as yet. You know, so I think you're quite right. As a matter of fact, the predictions today with the current trends and mood is suggesting a very low turnout, which does not really favor the UNC. And things so bad, we're not even hearing a pep from the pep. And I'm not even hearing, well, all of a sudden, like since I announced the date, these NTA and pep and what about MSJ? What about all them other? You're not hearing nothing at all.
Archie, are you suggesting that the shell shock right now?
Well, how you could be shell shocked? The thing was due since last year, December, right? We knew that this case was going to be won, and we knew that down to the PNM know that the election would have been in August, right? So, and let's just say the election was in December. Even if them start to prepare now, I don't think that is sufficient time. I know our good friend, there is an exception, Victor. Our good friend, Mr. Kun Kun. That man has been, if you look on the whiteboard in the back there, right? Take a look on the whiteboard in the back there. You would see since May 2021, Vishnu has been prepping and preparing Arima for taking control. And really and truly, Victor, I am not no big professional political scientist and thing, but to me, the more preparations that you put into trying to win seats is the better chances you have. And what we're seeing right now is that Mr. Kun Kun has been doing so much work with Arima that right now Arima, I mean, I don't want to let some of the information out the bag, but they are picking up some serious vibes from the people. They are collecting their data. They are practically walking the streets every day. They are, as I say, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because I did it once and I get plenty boof from the hierarchy in the party for letting out information with respect to what's happening in Arima. But from watching on, for those of you who just watch the social media, you would see that Arima is going great guns, and you could never tell. That would be that could be a dark horse in the race. This Arima Borough Corporation.
Well, I think Arima, for my information, will be screened today by the screening committee. I think today would be Arima and Point Fortin from the information that I receive in relation to screening. And then, of course, there would have to be the naming of the candidates, Archie, somewhere along the line. And I think that the earlier that is done, it will serve much better. But I don't want to get into that aspect.
Well, I am certain the boss would name some candidates in the Granny meeting on Monday. I'm certain that's her normal modus operandi in the Monday night report. She probably, I know there has been some final names in your constituency, so for sure she could name those.
Well, I haven't received any information yet in relation to that, so I await. But I don't want to get there tonight. I don't want to go there tonight, but I am not seeing the enthusiasm on the ground, Archie. I am on the ground. People call me, I call people. I call one or two folks, ask them how things are shaping in their area. Those would be persons who had called me over the years with problems in their area and so on. And the feedback that I am getting thus far is that while there may be some level of excitement and enthusiasm in relation to dealing with the PNM, I think we had to wait yet. We had to wait yet and see how things will develop, Archie, in terms of the country. And I know for a fact that I am ready. I know that the candidates, the prospective candidates in Labre, I know that they are also ready. I know that the executive of the constituency of Labre, we are also ready. And of course, I know that some voters are also ready. But we will see how that go. But I would have believed, Archie, that when Rowley made that announcement, I would have, convinced in my heart that the country would have rejoiced on having that date announced. I would have also be convinced that the country, the talk on the ground, the conversation in the maxi and in the taxi and in the bus and the truck drivers and the taxi drivers and the passengers and everybody would be excited, ready, spreading that message. The date is the 14th. It's time to get rid of them once and for all. And that is what I was expecting to be going through the length and breadth of this country. And after you make your comment, Archie, I'll tell you why I was expecting that.
Well, what I'm going to tell you is, I know they have some people, them that just wait for elections. You see them people who like to play vote for sale, they can't wait to start. All of a sudden, they have nothing in the cupboard. The table empty.
Yeah.
They want hamper, right? So they're going in this camp and they're collecting hamper, and that camp and collecting hamper. And who double crossing, who and who going in, who camp and thing. Boy, it is has some, I just call them political vultures circling the both parties, right? But somehow, boy, we just be the victim.
Archie, a man stopped yesterday and telling me, Victor Roberts, the bell ring local election, where you go do for me? Where you go do for me? I was some kind of boxer, grocery, something. I was something. I swear, boy, you're by the wrong place and you're by the wrong man. I say, go and tell Rowley that. You go Balize house and tell Rowley that you want a boxer grocery. And you know he tell me? He said, boy, I had to get something for my vote. And Archie, you're right. That is the kind of political vouchers that you talking about.
He had to get something for his vote.
The country
now, I telling you, UNC could give that man 10 hamper. PNM could give him 2, and he will vote PNM. So it had not like he had to guess something for his vote. And in any case, boy, partner, you want to tell me you ain't getting no water, you ain't getting no good road, nothing happening, nothing good happening. But you had to give he something to get he vote. Partner, I feel you, Victor Roberts, will not give him anything.
Archie, I give him something. I had to confess. I give him an advice. And the advice that I give him is to go by Rowley and ask Rowley for a box of grocery for his vote. Because I cannot see in the constituency of Labre, Point Fortin, Faizabad. Listen to the constituency that I'm calling it. The constituency of Labre, Point Fortin, and Faizabad are constituencies, a matter of fact, these constituencies were heavily dependent on that entity they call Petrotrin. And I would have expected that after we prove, Archie, after we utilize the freedom of information that fisherman's and friend of the sea, Gary Aboud, had applied for, and this document show that Petrotrin 2016, 17, 18, up to when Rowley Inboat, Stuart Young, and these people stood up and tell this country that that the bonds from Petrotrin were due, and Petrotrin weren't able to provide any sort of finance, and that Petrotrin was a burden on the treasury of Trinidad and Tobago. And that document coming out of the freedom of information shows that these people were blatant liars, that these people deceived the country, put in jeopardy the workers of Petrotrin who have contributed to the medical, who have contributed in every form and fashion. These individuals stood up publicly on social media, on the print media, on the television houses in this country, and lie, blatantly lie. And you will tell me, Archie, that this country quiet, and this country in making noise and spreading the word and out on the street corner and telling this country that it's time to pay back the PNM for their deception and their lies, for the betrayal to the people of this country. You will tell me, Archie, that a man telling me that he was something for his vote, Archie, under other circumstances, I would have tell that man drop dead. Listen what I just tell you. Under different circumstances, I would have tell that man drop dead. Because if the government, who has done and perpetrate this level of evil upon a nation, and you today waiting to go wrong by political camp to prostitute your vote, then you should drop dead, Archie.
I love that word. I love that
than
word.
the PNM.
You teach me a word there. Prostitute your vote.
That is what they're doing.
That is what will cut down all the talkers had to talk. Just say these people like to prostitute their vote.
Archie,
And
you can't tell me.
eventually, 9 out of 10 times, their voters go by the Balize. And what does aggravate me is, after that, and the Balize throw them out. What you say? Chewing gum? When they have nothing good again, they throw them out.
Spit them out.
Partner, little business are running here. Is about 6 people, and I could just watch them and know them toting Balize flag and taking hamper for the vote, and then want to come wrong by people who trying to put in a government that will take care of them. Remember our last show, I keep asking you over and over, does the country have resources to give people free bus ride, free food, free education, free everything? And you keep saying yes.
Yes, Archie. These people, I am telling you, a selective few individuals who sit to the hem of the PNM. You see how nice I'm taking my time here this evening? This selective few, Archie, they are the ones who benefit tremendously from the wealth of the country. This selective few, they took the time and strategically place individuals in the key position of this country. Key position, not in the PNM, you know. Key position in this country. This selective few, they has placed what I will call financiers. They have placed individuals who I consider as the protectors. They have placed individual who I consider as the robbers of the resources. And by placing this two category of persons in strategic position to ensure that the finance of the country is kept in a secluded manner where they alone would be able to filter out that those finances utilizing so-called laws and so-called amendment to previous bills that exist in order to clinically steal your money, while you, the people, you are now brought to the point where you would do anything to get a meal, including prostituting your finger on election day. Let me come down to brass tacks now. The people in Faizabad, Point 14 and Labray, you should be the one to set the example to this country. You should be the one to do what the NAR did in 1986 general election. You should be the one to start the ball of rolling in this local election, wiping out the PNM totally out of the constituency of Faizabad, Labray and Point 14, paying back Keith Rowley, paying back Stuart Young, paying back Faris Alwari, and paying back the PNM government for the wickedness that they have perpetrated, not only against you, but against your children, against your grandchildren, and even against your great-grand, even though the seed have not yet sown to bring those great-grandchildren of yours into this world. The penalty of the PNM awaits their birth. The evil of the PNM awaits the birth of your great-grandchildren. This is what the PNM had done to you in Point 14, in Faizabad, and in Labray. They have banished a generation by the evil that they perpetrate to protect the finances, the friend and men who used to bring forth women in particular houses for some of these big boys in the PNM to experiment You see, all you playing, all you don't know what used to happen down in the south. All you playing, all you don't know how many young girls pay the price for the evil men and women in the PNM. Young girls and young boys pay the price. So I would expect that you, the people of Point, Faizabad and Labre, you would be prepared to take vengeance, political vengeance, on those who have destroyed your family. Those who have sent your sons and daughters to steal in order to put food on the table. Those who have sent your sons and daughters to become whores in order to put food on the table. Those who have allowed your sons to participate in homosexuality in order to put a sneakers on the foot. And you people in South know exactly what I'm speaking about. You know how many young people has since became vulnerable to the vouchers in the PNM in order to survive. And now they are telling you they will come to your door and they will knock. And they will tell you that we will make a difference. I agree they would make a difference. I agree they would make a difference. The difference that these individuals will make is to ensure that your great-grandchildren born into poverty live under the poverty line, and they will do anything in order to survive in this country. That is what this government continues to do to you. The PNM is not your friend. And those who will come knocking on your doors, they are not your friend. I want to tell you today, as Archie put up that picture, I almost certain that 90% of those hands in the air, fingers, would dip in the ink for the PNM. And if, ladies and gentlemen, I am correct, then you should understand by this picture, by this video, that when you have to reach the stage, when you vote and place a government in office, and you have to kneel and surrender your manhood and womanhood in the air, begging for sustenance, begging. These individuals, they are begging for sustenance. They are begging for a meal to place on the table. They are begging for finances to send their children to school, the next generation. But who has those individuals with their hands in the air and their knees on the Baba Green? It is not Victor Roberts. It is not the UNC. It is your vote. It is your vote. And the party that you believe is your party, they are the ones that have you suffering. They are the ones that has you in the condition which is not even considered to be fit for human beings. So I would have believed that as soon as Rowley called the date for the local election, that Point 14, Faizabad, and Labre would have been so excited and so sending that message throughout the rank and file of every community that Judgment Day is here. Judgment Day for the enemies of humanity, it is here. I would have believed that you would have been stirred up in such a manner that today, ladies and gentlemen, you the people, every text message that you send to your family, to your friends, and even your enemies, is to let us get rid of the PNM, the greatest evil that has ever hit the land of Trinidad and Tobago. It is the Keith Rowley PNM. And this country, this Trinidad, you the people of Trinidad, you should take example from your fellow brothers and sisters in Tobago. But the battle must start, and it must start now. The battle must start, ladies and gentlemen. The revolution of change must start, and it must start now. The revolution of change must be sown through the air of every human being in Labre, Point 14, and Faizabad, to ensure that you who have not yet reached on your knees but you're bowing, that you who have not yet hold your hands up in the air but it's coming, that the revolution will start in Point, Faizabad, and Labre, the revolution of change in this country. And while I am calling for that revolution of change to start in Point 14, Faizabad, and Labre, I am saying that we the people of this country must never ever again surrender our democracy, surrender our manhood, surrender our womanhood, and surrender the love for each other. Ladies and gentlemen, the message must start, the excitement must start, and it must start now. The enemy of this country is not those who invade your homes. The enemy of this country is not even those who shooting down each other. The enemy of this country is not even those who will stick you up at gunpoint and take away your car, your jewels, and your wallet. The enemy of this country, ladies and gentlemen, it is those who has created the avenue for this type of behavior to be conducted in our country. Those are the enemies. The enemies, ladies and gentlemen, is those who sit at the hem of power. The enemies of democracy, it is the government of Trinidad and Tobago. They are the ones responsible for what you are experiencing by the criminal element in this country. They are the ones responsible. They are the ones that create the opportunity for this kind of behavior to take place, ladies and gentlemen. This type of behavior, it is not by guess. It is not by chance. It is by the policies that the government have created, and those policies that they have not. That is the problem. The problem is those individuals who sits as the leaders of this country. They are the real enemies, and it's because of their policy or the lack thereof, while your homes are being invaded, while you are being robbed, and while they kill each other on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago. They are the enemies. And until the country understand that when men and women who have sacrificed tremendously and build an economy that was the gem of the Caribbean. It was your mother and my father. It was your grandfather and my grandmother. It was your great-grandmother and my great-grandfather and all the great that could fit on the greater, who grate their knees, their hands, and their feet away to build a country. And when our foreparents made those sacrifices, it took a group of individuals who divide this country into two classes and utilize every opportunity to keep us fighting against each other. And while you fight against me and I fight against you, and while you call me an African and I call you an Indian, it is a collective few that will keep propagating that type of behavior while they benefit from the resources and the wealth of your grandmother and my grandfather and our parents' sweat and tears. Our family and your family,
Nestled in the bushes on the-
African and Indian, they die in this country in order to have the development that we have today. Many of our foreparents sacrifice. They live in bad conditions. Some of them work the rice field. Some of them cut the cane. And while some of them would have worked in the oil, it took wisdom that brought oil and sugar together. And when oil and sugar came together, there were tremendous changes in our society. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The political directorate knew for a fact that if they leave oil and sugar together, it would spell disaster for them who had and still have the plan of reaping the benefit, reaping the juice, reaping the sustenance of the country. So they create the atmosphere where you look at me as your enemy and I look at you as my enemy. But while we fight each other, while we look at each other as the enemy, the real enemy is those with the pen that sits in the hem of political power. Those are your enemies. They are the one, ladies and gentlemen, that will continue to propagate and continue to utilize you and me as pawn, as tools. They will pretend that our interests, our best interest is within their heart. But as they chew you and the sweetness gone, that is the time that they spit you out. And all you would always be to them is a sweetener for a period of time. And all who believe that the holes that you was driving through for the past 8 years, that probably caused you to spend over $20,000 in repairs. Those of you who now see the whole patch and you're riding smooth and you feel everything is everything, then you better think again. Those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who want to beg and line up, whether it be by C3 or South Park, where a minister would describe your hunger as greedy, while those said minister eat shrimps and drink scotch and even give the dogs, even feed the dogs with the chicken that you could not have eaten. They say that you were greedy when you line up here for food. So when you believe that all is well, I want to tell you, you must pay back the PNM, pay back the minister who call your hunger greediness. Pay them back. Pay them back for the local election. Send the message. They all who believe that they're giving you something now, hold on. That line that you are looking at on the screen, that line represent your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren because of what this government is doing to you. So when you watch there, don't feel you're seeing yourself. It's not yourself you're seeing there. It is your generation. It is your generation that would be lining up. They will just be taking your place. So don't feel because you line up, that's the end of the story. That is not the end of the story. That is your generation that would have to line up, that would have to beg. Today, I spoke with some individuals very much educated, and you would never believe that our children and your grandchildren coming out with 7, 8 passes, some of them coming out from the university, and to the end of the day, they either look for employment in a cloth store or they go by a chicken outlet. That is the sad reality. A country that produce, still producing, a country that had and still have a tremendous amount of wealth, because, not because of Eric Williams, not because of Chambers, not because of Robinson, not because of Manning, not because of Pandey, not because of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, not because of Keith Rowley. The resources of this country that was provided for you by a being that you have no control over. That resources was not placed there by PNM. That resources, ladies and gentlemen, it was placed there for your benefit. But what is wrong with the people of this country? Today I will tell you what is wrong. What is wrong with the people of this country is that they are so self-centered. They are so selfish. They are so dumb. That when they believe that they have sense, this Prime Minister have proven to the world that plenty people in this country senseless. That is what the Prime Minister proved to the world. Don't vex with me, you know. Don't vex with me. I am just giving it naked. I give you the truth naked. If you can't take it, switch off your phone or switch off your YouTube, your smart TV. Take it off. I just gave you it real, and I'm making it plain that you don't have to get a boat, a helicopter, or a submarine to find it. There's a story of a donkey. There's a story of a donkey. I can't remember if I sent that for Archie. But this donkey was so smart that the donkey believes, that donkey believed that he was going to become a king. So there's a young lion who decide and plan to deal with the donkey, because the donkey ambition was an ambition like you, the people who believe that you are a king under the PNM. So when the young lion have seen what was happening to the donkey. The young lion decide, okay, if all of the donkey life, the donkey want to become a king, but all the donkey doing is toting load. So the lion tell the donkey, he said, let me carry by the chief lion. Because the chief lion
became heated
would
up,
make
and
you
the
a
two
king.
decided to submit.
So the chief lion sits on the throne, and the young lion take the donkey to the chief lion. And this donkey, ladies and gentlemen, went to the chief. And when he went to the chief understand what is needed. So the chief instruct the cub to take the donkey and prepare him for the throne. So the cub take the donkey, came down to the back, and whap, lick off
Contradicts
the
me
donkey 2 ears.
and annoys me. Please punish him.
Archie start over the story. You could go back. You have volume on the story, Archie? Go back and play the story. I go deal with it to suit after. Go back and play that story for me.
The grass is blue.
The tiger replied.
No, the grass is green.
The discussion became heated up, and the two decided to submit the issue to arbitration. And to do so, they approached the lion, king of the jungle. Before reaching the clearing in the forest where the lion was sitting on his throne, the donkey started screaming.
Your Highness, is it true that the grass is blue?
The lion replied.
True, the grass is blue.
The donkey rushed forward and continued.
The tiger disagrees with me, contradicts me, and annoys me. Please punish him.
The king then declared.
The tiger will be punished with 5 years of silence.
The donkey jumped for joy and went on his way, content and repeating,
The grass is blue, the grass is blue, the grass is blue.
The tiger accepted his punishment, but he asked the lion.
Your Majesty, why have you punished me? After all, the grass is green.
The lion replied.
In fact, the grass is green.
The tiger asked.
So why do you punish me?
The lion replied.
That has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass is blue or green. The punishment is because a brave, intelligent creature like you can't waste time arguing with a donkey, and on top of that, come and bother me with that question?
So what have we learned from this story? The worst waste of time is arguing with a fool and fanatic who doesn't care about the truth or reality, but only the victory of their beliefs and illusions. Never waste time on discussions that make no sense. For all the evidence presented to them, some people do not have the ability to understand, and others are blinded by ego, hatred, and resentment. And the only thing that they want is to be right, even if they aren't. When ignorance screams.
So that is a very good story, and I sure you get the gist of where I'm going. So the cub took the donkey to the king lion, and the cub plead the case that this donkey want to become a king. So the king lion instruct the donkey to prepare, instruct the young lion to prepare the donkey to become king. So he take the donkey down to the back, And while he came in the back, whap, he lick off the donkey 2 ears. The donkey run back by the chief lion, the king lion. And he complained. He said, oh, Lord, my king, the cub tried to kill me. Look, he cut my 2 ears off. The king lion said to him, he just preparing you for the crown to fit on your head. The donkey was relieved and the donkey rejoiced. So the cub take the donkey again down the same road. And when he going down the same road, whap, he lick off the donkey tail. The donkey take off at a speed. He gone back by the king lion. He said, oh my king, look, he tried to kill me and he cut off my tail. The king lion said, no, he is just preparing you to sit comfortably on the throne. So he removed the tail. The donkey again was very much happy. And he gone with the cub again. And on this occasion, when he went down, the lion summoned the young one. And he said, look, on this occasion, kill him and bring back his brain for me. The young lion took him down the road again. And this time, cut off the donkey head. And when he cut off the donkey head, he go back to the king. And the king lion asks him, is the job completed? He said, yes, your highness, I remove his head. He said, well, now present me with his brain. The young lion said, unfortunately, when I opened his head, there was no brain in the donkey. So we had a dead donkey with no brain. I want to tell you something here today. In this story, the chief lion today is Keith Rowley. The chief lion today is Keith Rowley. You the voters, who voted for Rowley, you is the donkey. The king have cut out all your employment. You feel you're going and sit on a throne. King Rowley knock off all the programs, and what he knock off, he minimize and remove the level of opportunity that you, the people, had who vote for him, and yet you believe that he's going to put you on a throne. King Rowley, lick up from your aviation center, your nursing school, lick up your NESC, have your university in penal clause and DB, and continuing to lick up the future, cut cutting your head off, but yet you're still going and bowing. You're still going and bowing. You're still going and vote to keep the same lion who just cut off your ears, who just cut out your tail, who just cut off your head. And you're still going and keep the lion on the throne after the lion continue to destroy you. But you know what I like about the story? Every time the lion take off piece of the donkey, he say, we preparing you to sit on the throne. When he lick off the donkey 2 ears, the donkey run back. He said, don't worry, that is for the crown to fit. When he cut off the donkey tail, he said, don't worry, that is for you to sit on the chair, sit on the throne. When he cut the donkey head off, it's then they realize that the donkey had no brain. Let me tell all you what I know. I know you, the people who voted for the PNM, I know all you have a brain. I know all you allow them to cut all your ears off. I know all you allow them to cut all your tail off. But never allow them to cut your head off. This is the opportunity. This is the opportunity. Never allow the PNM to cut your head off. Your tail gone. Your ears gone. In other words, your gratuity gone. Your pension gone. Your employment gone. Your savings gone. In some cases, your wife gone. In other cases, your husband gone. In the real cases, your children going astray. Time to let Keith Rowley and his government know that if they buy oil for donkey, this election, they had to sell oil as a racehorse. You PNM voter, utilize your brain. It's no longer brainwash as usual. You PNM voter, do not allow yourself to be a donkey without brain. It was Elric Williams who first categorized and classified this country as a jack donkey. And it was Elric Williams who said, after he categorized and classified your nation, he said Labre and Point Fortin, Faizabad would have been right up under the tail. You know what does be right up under the tail of the donkey? Well, if you don't know, let me help you. The Bamsi. The Bamsi does be up under the tail. And when he categorized Point Fortin, Faizabad, and Labre as right up under the tail, this election, you must squeeze your Bamsi. Squeeze your Bamsi tight. Let them understand how important the Bamsi of the donkey really is. Let them understand that when the donkey cannot defecate, what would happen. So now it's time for you to show them that you have power. Even though they classify you as the Bamsi, as the bottom of the donkey, let them see your power. Let them see that point 14 Faizabad and Labre. Let them see your testicular fortitude, how huge a mountain it is. That is what must happen. You see, for too long, you have allowed yourself to be a brainless donkey for the PNM. For too long, everybody benefit under the PNM except you. Everybody benefit under the PNM except you, the PNM voter. Except you, the PNM supporter. Except you. Everybody benefit. You have put a benchmark by your own. And the benchmark that you set is URP or CPEP. That is your benchmark. So you're dressing up with jacket, your blouse properly well ironed, and you sit down in a URP office and you tell yourself, I am a big boy here. You is nothing but a little donkey. Because every time a government change, you go on home, go back and look into the history of your mother, your father, your brother, or your sister. It is the same thing. When Archie put up the line just now, with these people line up all on the highway to get some food, I tell you, don't see them. See your future. See your daughter. See your son. So wait now. So you know the same thing I'm talking about? It's the same thing happened to your mother, your father, and all of them who support the PNM. They used to work URP. And every time a government changed, them gone. Out. Kick out. Pelt out. So you know the same thing happening to you? That is what you're looking for your children. That is where you put your benchmark. People who never support the PNM benefit 1 million times more than you could ever imagine. People who never vote for the PNM benefit so much under the PNM that you could never imagine why you don't have no drugstore. Don't wait to hear pharmacy, you know, because that word might be too big for someone to understand and all. Drugstore, none. People benefit under so much under the PNM that you had no supermarket. In other words, you had no grocery. You didn't even have a shop. People benefit so much under the PNM while you remain the PNM donkey. That some of them have 50,000 million excavator, low boy, backhoe, truck, roller, grader, anything you could think about. You don't even have a wheelbarrow. You have to borrow the neighborhood. That is how real I'm bringing it for you, you know. That is how real I'm bringing it for you today. You have to borrow the neighbor barrow. You ain't even have. And when they borrow it, that'll come for it. You even want to carry it back. How much you have the neighbor shovel? And even make enemy with the neighbor for the neighbor own shovel. But the neighbor never vote PNM. How the neighbor have a barrow, a shovel, a fork, a cutlass, everything, and you have to borrow it. And use a PNM. Use a PNM, but you have to borrow it. I'm bringing it really enough for let us see. Is C I wanted to see, you know. Up to now, me mention nothing about UNC, you know. I ain't mention UNC, you know, nothing. I talking about you, the PNM. People benefit so much under the PNM that you still in a little plyboard house. All the galvanized on your roof have a real pretty color. They call it rust. They call it rust. Rainy season coming. You put in bucket, cup, posy. You know posy? Tencel or whatever. Posy, yeah. Grandmother posy. Bucket, basin, pot, spoon. Everything to catch water. Things so bad that you're sleeping on top of the sponge. You can't put your sponge flat. You have to put it on a side, get a ladder, and sleep on top there because water falling right on you. But here's a PNM. People who never support the PNM driving the best car. You don't even have a bicycle. But here's a PNM. You think, you know, see if I lying, come outside and what's wrong. Come outside and what's wrong. It have a neighbor there who don't vote PNM. But how that neighbor have a nice concrete house. And you who vote PNM from now, your great grandmother dead in that same house. Your grandfather dead there. Your mother and father probably dead there. You go dead there and your children go dead right there. Why? But here's a PNM. Walk out your house now and watch outside. Watch all the big house in your community. And come back and watch yours. Look yours right there. Look yours right here. You see just in the back there? You see that house looking little nice in the back there? Watch over the roof. I sure if you go down and say, morning, I wait to vote PNM, they run you from there. You know why? Because they have seen what the PNM doing to you. It's not what the PNM doing to them, you know. They're seeing what the PNM doing to you as the PNM supporter. They're seeing. And they don't know already if the PNM doing that to you, who support them for all these years, they will never be a PNM. And you know what's sad about it? They will always live better than you. They will always have more than you because they are not PNM. That is the reality. You don't have no land. You go in the bank, they even want to see you. They don't dare even have a discussion with you. Why don't go in the bank and say, I am a PNM. I support Keith Rowley. You know who Keith Rowley is? He's the boss of the country. He's the prime minister. I vote for him. I put him there. I keep him there. I want a loan. I want a loan. The prime minister, I put him there. I want a loan. But no, they will keep you right here. And they keep you there and you believing that I's a big boy because every morning I going to work and my neighbor, he or she home. But you know something? Watch your neighbor and watch yourself. And you decide what is the difference. You have to set a different benchmark, people. You, the PNM supporter, you have to set a different benchmark. You have to remove the poison ivy that the PNM stick in your brain. The poison ivy who will keep you voting for nothing. The poison ivy who will have you running out on the streets and campaign. The poison ivy that make you believe that you is a big shot in URP and CPEP. The poison ivy who will have you to live in the little cocoa house until you're dead. You and your husband can't even have a time because you shake so the children watching you. Ask yourself here tonight as I wrap up, who is your enemy? Ask yourself here tonight, you PNM supporter, who is your enemy? Today, I tell a man, he said, boy, I don't want to hear about PNM. I don't want to hear about UNC because I live here in Palo Seco all my life and we had nothing. I say, let me ask you one question. How much UNC representative you had here in Palo Seco or in the constituency of Labre? Let me broaden the base. How much UNC representative you ever had in Labre and local representative in Palo Seco and Erie? He said we had Albert Richards. I say, you live here all your life? He say, yeah. I say, Albert Richards was a UNC MP. He say, yes. The only time the PNM lost was to the UNC. Albert Richards did win. I said, well, let me help you. Albert Richards was NAR. He said, oh, yeah, boy, in truth, boy. He said, but wait now. We never had a UNC down here yet, boy. He said, we really never had a UNC candidate who win an election down here. I said, no, because earlier when Pilate asks who to release Jesus or Barnabas, I said, earlier beg for the thief, the criminal and the murderer. When Pilate said, who are we going to release? Jesus or Barnabas? They say, give me Barnabas. Pilate said, I the old killer, you know, a criminal. They say, yes. Let the blood of he fall and we children. So all they know that is what happened in the world earlier. Who's supporting this government? So all they know that is the evil of that PNM government that is resting on all your chests bold-facedly. And if all you feel it will get better, actually you could pull back up the line with them people by South Park or C3, I think it was. If all you believe for 1 minute that this year, that line, all you're seeing from that starts from on the highway to come up there, if all you believe that that is your neighbor, and all you believe that is people from OE, watch every one of them very well here tonight. And I want to suggest to you, the people who support this Keith Rowley government, those people, as you look at them here this evening, I want to tell you, that it will be your children and grandchildren who will be reincarnated into these people, lining up by the side of the road, not only to beg for things to eat, but they may very well have a 42nd Street where your girls and boys will line up, and cars and bikes and so on will pass and pick up any one of them and do the impossible with them and then drop them back off at the side of the road. That is what would happen to you. Welcome, caller.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say I'm fully behind the United National Congress from everything, right? But I think I just want to make a suggestion that I feel the leader, Ms. Kamala, must have this session and step down and give some young person a chance.
Well, we have
Let me answer
in
that.
front.
Let me answer that, Arch. I want to answer that. Caller, I hear loud and clear.
Yeah.
And I have no problem whatsoever with your suggestion.
Yeah.
The United National Congress have a constitution that it works with,
Yeah.
and it's Kamala's right to step down, as is also her right to stay on until she is voted out of office. So I respect your views. I have no problem whatsoever with your suggestion. But I'm just saying to you that the constitution of the party is what would act on behalf of you, the UNC voter, when that time reach for an internal election. You will have your choice and your say to vote for Kamala or against Kamala.
All right, thank you, Robert. Thanks.
Thank you for your call. Actually, I think we could take 5 minutes, some phone calls before we close off here. So we open the line for 5 minutes in fairness to the callers. I know they were adamant listeners, so let me give them an opportunity to call in. So the number you could call is 3735488. It's on the screen. So we'll open the lines and give you opportunity to call for a few minutes. So you could call as soon as you're ready.
Yes, so, Victor, you know, you keep talking Palaseco, and it itching me to ask you about Jaguar thing, but take a call.
Welcome, caller.
Good evening, good night, Mr. Robert,
Good.
Archie, and to everybody out there. I heard you preaching tonight, preaching to the people of Labre, Point Forte, Faisabad, surrounding areas.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to 2015, Rowley, at Majuba Junction. Rowley told the people of Labre that you will not forget them. I give you the assurance under my leadership, there will be no policy to fool the people, lie to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct.
Decency will return to the office of Prime Minister, and the name of Minister of Government will mean something. Character matters. Where did that go? Where did that go? Because we have seen from 2015 up until this morning or today, we have not seen anything that lie, half-truth, innuendos, propaganda from wrong government. And I am calling on the people of the United National Congress. Stop talking and go and vote. Because after you see, all you stay home and don't want to go out and vote because local government election is not important, right? They come and cuss Kamala. And all you want Kamala to win. If didn't have enough of what it is going on, if there is motivation enough to push all you out there to go and vote, well, I don't know what is. Because what is being done to this country at present is disgusting. I don't know how much of it we can take again. So let's study his leadership and don't study to get rid of Rowley, who have the country in the situation it's in today. Thanks a lot and have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Santa Cruz. I think we have a next caller. Arch. Welcome, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Pleasant good night, Mr. Roberts.
Good night, sir.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. When the People's Partnership was in government from 2010 to 2015, why is it that they did not retract or abolish the property tax? They had ample time. They had the majority. It was 29 seats to 12, but they kept the property tax. That is one. And plus, I'd like to make a statement. So long as Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bissessar remains as leader of the UNC, the PNM will always remain there. Right now, Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bissessar is PNM's greatest asset, sir. Thank you, and you have a pleasant night, sir.
Thank you for your call, caller.
That question he spoke about why the UNC didn't remove the property tax. I need to find back the video where Kamla outlined in detail the difficulties she had in removing the tax. Yes, she had the majority, but there were major difficulties in the public service that was preventing her from doing it.
So
basically along those lines.
So what we will do, Archie, is that I already spoke to somebody to come to deal with that property tax issue and the green fund and everything as it relates to that. So those questions will be dealt with. I will try to get it as soon as possible, right? Welcome, caller.
Mr. Victor, is it all right if I say something again? I want to remind that caller. Did you pay property tax since Kamala and them came into office? From the time they came in, they got property tax. And as Archie rightly said, she explained why it is that they couldn't implement the property tax, because they were being stymied at every junction by the public servants and them. Kamala was not going to pay anybody. So to come here and say Kamala had the majority and they didn't stop it, so you're being disingenuous. The property tax was stopped. We never paid property tax under the partnership government. And today, they still fighting for us not to pay. So try and do honesty. Thanks a lot.
We have a next call, Arch? No. All right, Mr. Santa Cruz, I think he understands that they didn't pay any taxes there, but as I said before, somebody will be coming on the program to deal with that. It's a professional, and I will wait until that time comes, which I will try to have it as quickly as possible, and we will clear all those things up. Welcome, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Good night, Mr. Roberts. Well, I see like past time, them people, callers coming out, but they come out of the shell now, they coming out the still going to talk about Kamala Moscow. You have a free and fair election in UNC. But what is wrong with these people? Is Rowley marching up this country and asking for Kamala to go? What she has to do with that? This is the want to serve this country well, and they want something who serve well this country to go. And talking about property tax. They didn't pay nothing on that Kamala, but that's not paying them callers. Them is not paying them callers. Because you can't tell people like me that we had to try all possible to get rid of this madman called Rowley, something about them calling to talk about once Kamala inside the thing. First and not all of them is paying them callers. That's what their agenda now. That's the agenda. So they come in all these stations, all of them look out for them. That's what they come in with. Kamala must go for it. Otherwise, Rowley doesn't for them. They make care about how much people Rowley send home from. They work from NGC, from Petrochin, Cruton, Metalsi, wherever. But them still say what Kamala is Kamala for.
Thank you, caller.
Have a great night.
Thank you for your call, caller. Welcome, caller.
Good day, sir. This is Victor Roberts.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Yeah, good night, sir. I've been listening to the show on the ground report and everything, right? But I think you guys are really missing the point, because you haven't heard, like me. I left Canada in 1979. I don't really give a damn about Trinidad. All my family's over here. and everybody's whining and crying. And listen very carefully. Everybody that calls from foreigners, why the hell they don't go to the embassy in Canada or the United States and go and protest? Why they have to depend on you and the ground report? I would like to answer. Go back on Facebook and listen to what you say. But all of them full of nonsense. You understand what I'm saying, sir?
Yeah, Kola, I'm listening. Thank you.
No. Why? No. It makes sense or not? They're always talking about they living in Canada or they living in U.S. But it's not making sense. If they want to protest, other countries are going in front of the embassy and do it. I have asked many Trinidadians, I'm a Trinidad, let's go to the Trinidad embassy and protest for good in Trinidad. We have no response. Nobody wants to hear about Trinidad. So, I need the people to wake up and understand. Don't waste the people's time, your time, ground report time, and phoning from different countries and complaining that what the people in Trinidad should do. They can do it over here.
Thank you,
You
Kola.
understand what I'm saying, sir?
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Same
I like
to
the
you.
program. I'm watching you every day, but thank God I get you to you.
Thank you. I see this Kola's getting hot tonight. You have any more calls yet?
That look like it for the day. Yeah. So next show, Tuesday.
Tuesday, please, God. I'll be meeting with the executive sometime over the weekend, Archie, and
take a call.
Yes,
welcome,
good afternoon,
caller.
Mr. Archie and Mr. Robert. What I want to say is very brief. Is all the arguments people talk about. The present condition is what matters. And when people go around, and see what is happening all around them. COVID invasions come right on to pothole. You don't have to bother. Right now, we're telling you nobody to even campaign. People just supposed to know that a big stone on your foot, let's not move it. So all arguments are dumb. All arguments. The thing, the both thinking, and you have to look for your life best. Have a good night and blessings.
Thank you, caller.
Well, we would think that what he's saying there was going to be happening. That's how you start off the show. That you don't even think we're supposed to be campaigning.
Exactly.
But right now, the metrics ain't showing so.
The odds proven differently.
Yeah, the metrics look as though the span are well adjusted.
So here's where we'll have to leave it, Archie. What we have over the weekend, Archie?
Well, we have the screening taking place right now as we speak. The screening, the Mayaro and the Point Fortin constituencies, and as usual, plenty Janjat, plenty Mukojombi and flag and thing. But after all of that, I think we have press conference on Sunday, and we have Monday night report coming all the way from Sandy Grande.
Yeah.
And of course, Sunday night, the big man, Anil Roberts.
Good. So there you have it, folks. We want to thank the callers for calling. We thank you for your patience. We want you to be safe, stay blessed. But here is where we will leave it for tonight. So have a good night. We out of here.